Daredevil and Punisher share the common goal of stopping crime. The biggest difference? Punisher has much deadlier methods, and Daredevil is getting in his way. Daredevil finally wakes up. His hands and feet are bound as he swings gently upside down. He shifts his head and reaches out with his senses. He is alone in a room, and a table on the floor sits beneath him. Matt struggles with his bonds for a moment before giving up. He swings there, alone, and sighs. Fighting him without a plan was a big mistake, Matt thinks to himself. Memories flash in his mind. This all began with Joe Malizia. Days earlier, Matt Murdock sat in the office he shared with his good friend Foggy Nelson. Joe Malizia sits across from him, playing with a knife in his hand as Matt explains that any attorney-client confidentiality privileges that the lawyers have with Joe Malizia's boss, Ma Nucci, do not extend to him. Malizia shrugs. Murdock, I don't need a thing from you. I was told to give you a heads up that we got that maniac the Punisher coming after the family. Ma wants everyone on alert. That includes the hired help, meaning your group. Let's face it, guy like you would never see him coming, Malizia says with a sneer. Matt nods and pushes his chair back from the desk so he can stand. Well, you tell Miss Nucci I can handle myself. And in the future, she can just call the office if she's concerned about our well-being. Now, I'd appreciate you put that knife away and leave the office, Mr. Malizia, Matt tells him. Malizia looks down at his knife in surprise. How did you? He mutters before turning for the door. Whatever. Watch your back is all I'm saying, he calls over his shoulder. Matt steps out into the reception area as Foggy comes through the door. The Nucci case. They got only one kid left, correct? The one we're representing a few days from now in court? Matt asks. Foggy nods. Yeah, Dino. He's the youngest. Got out on bail and is staying at the Franklin Arms Hotel. Got a rap sheet on him longer than a CVS receipt. But as you know, the prosecution's case has some major holes, Foggy explains. Matt thinks on this for a moment before heading for the door, asking Foggy to cover for him. I've got some babysitting to do, Matt explains. Shortly, he rushes across the rooftops as Daredevil. He can sense the city around him, and while Matt can no longer see the sunset, he can sense it in the air. Feel the heat of the day disappear as the night flows over the city. Daredevil heads to the hotel, noting the guards covering the entranceway. If he focuses, he can sense more in the lobby. More thugs on the roof, but they aren't watching midway down the building. He leaps onto the balcony and knocks gently on Dino's window, sensing the mobster isn't alone. Dino? What the hell? There's some kind of pervert out there, a woman notes. Dino Nucci opens the window and stares at the masked vigilante. What do you want? You can't touch me. They got me on a bum rap for something I didn't even do. I got my day in court coming up, Dino tells him. Daredevil nods, his masked eyes making the mobster uncomfortable. Dino, I know. Your idea of hiding out is a big fail, Daredevil explains, reminding Dino that the Punisher is out for his family. What do you suggest? Dino asks. Daredevil glances around, trying to sense anything out of place. Leave here now. Break your patterns. Don't revisit places. And vary your movements till your court date. But I'm not your mother. Make sure you show up in court on time. And hope for the best. Daredevil growls before turning and leaping away. When the court date finally arrived, Matt and Foggy were there. Matt moved to have Dino protected under special guard at the local precinct jail. But he pauses in his speech. He senses someone in the back. Someone familiar. Frank Castle sat in the spectator's stage, but he stands and walks out the door quietly. That night, rain pours down on the city. Daredevil moves quietly, stalking the Punisher. He finds him on a lonely rooftop, rifle in hand, preparing to take the shot against Dino. Daredevil works behind him. He tosses a billy club to knock the rifle from Frank's shoulder. "Lose the gun and raise your hands before I beat you to a pulp." Daredevil growls as he leaps down. Frank whirls and raises the weapon, but Daredevil is fast. He closes the distance between them quickly and lashes out with a kick, cracking Frank across the jaw. Frank stumbles back, but pulls out a sonic disruptor, the high-pitched noise throwing off Matt's advanced senses. Frank moves in quickly, punching Daredevil across the jaw and knocking him out. Consciousness slowly comes back to Matt. He finds himself on the same roof, rain pattering against him from above. Frank a few feet away with his rifle. But now, Daredevil is chained up, and a revolver is duct taped to his hand. "What is this?" Daredevil demands. Frank glares at him. "One bullet, one shot, one chance to stop me from killing Dino Nucci," Frank growls. Matt shakes his head. "What kind of choice is that?" he demands. Frank shrugs and turns back to his rifle. "The one I make every time I pull the trigger. The one I am making now," Frank tells him. He sets the rifle down and sets up, peering down the sights as Dino steps out of the precinct with his guards. Matt makes the difficult choice and asks for God's forgiveness. He pulls the trigger on the revolver, but nothing happens. The weapon has no firing pin. "He set me up," Daredevil thinks, as Frank fires one round and the bullet rips through Dino's head, dropping him. Frank nods at his work and turns back to Daredevil. "No firing pin. You can leave the killing to me. The chains will be gone when you wake up," Frank promises before knocking Daredevil out again. The present. Daredevil awakens, hanging from the rafter, tied in the dark and swinging gently. Below him, the door opens and 4 people walk in. They take a seat at the table, unaware that Daredevil hangs above them. 3 men and a woman. Matt recognizes their voices. He put the woman and one of the men in jail, supposedly for life. Yet, here they were. The woman leans forward in her chair. Her name is Gina Russo. "I asked you all here today because I want to seize an opportunity before us. As you know, the Nucci family is being taken down by the Punisher, and at this rate, her organization will be gone in a week or 2, she points out. One of the other thugs nods and smiles. "For the first time in years, I'm enjoying the news. That Punisher is creative. I give him that," he tells the others. Gina stands up. "Here's what I'm thinking. We join forces, push past whatever influence Ma still has over her connections, and take full charge of the 5 boroughs in a professional, united way," she tells them. "Together, we have the numbers to make this happen. Business done right. What do you think?" she asks them. But Tony Rizzoli doesn't think it's a great idea. He starts to laugh. "You stupid little bitch. You think you can just..." he starts to say between his laughter. But Gina pulls a knife and leaps across the table, stabbing him again and again in the chest. "No one laughs at me like that, you hear me?" she snarls as she lets his body fall to the floor. Gina catches her breath and pushes a strand of hair out of her face with a bloody hand. "So, what do you guys think of my proposal?" she asks. Both are in agreement that it's a great idea. Gina smiles and steers them towards the door. "Good. Now that it's settled, let's hit the King's Plaza Diner and talk details over a stack of pancakes," she suggests. Daredevil waits a few moments to make sure they aren't returning before freeing himself and dropping to the floor. He knows why Frank did this, to show him that the system doesn't work. Those 2 criminals that are supposed to be away for life are free in the city. Daredevil steps out into the early morning sun and looks out towards the bay, sensing the waves and the birds flying overhead. He doesn't know what he's been dropped into, but once he cleans it up, he's coming for Frank Castle. And that was the complete story for Daredevil and Punisher, The Devil's Trigger, Issue 1 by Jimmy Palmiotti. The start of a crossover that I think is going to be pretty fun, but I'd love to hear your opinion in the comments down below. And if enough people enjoyed this, we'll continue covering it here on the channel. I'm Dan with Comicstorian, and we will see you next time. Rest in peace, Benny.